is the Assistant Democratic Leader in the United States House of Representatives and Chairman of the Democratic Faith Working Group, and was the first African American to serve multiple terms as Majority Whip, the first African American advisor to a South Carolina governor, and the recipient of 36 honorary degrees. Please welcome United States Congressman James E. Clyburn.
Thank you. Thank you very, very much. There are seminal moments in our lives that we will always remember. This is one of those moments for me. I often think about the first conversation I had with my good friend, then Mayor Joe Riley, about his vision of an African-American museum here in Charleston. As a former history teacher I really started my political career teaching history just a few blocks from here. I learned early the importance of knowing our past. And so I was all in with this project after getting permission. When Joe Riley first asked that I chair the steering committee to get this project going, I was a bit reticent because, as all of you know, this is a pretty touchy subject. But there has been a recurring theme throughout my life. Since childhood, I have collected turtles. You find hundreds of them in my offices and throughout my home. My fascination with turtles began with the fable of the tortoise and the hare, and its moral that deliberate speed and steady progress will win in the end. Through the years, I've collected these turtles, and while amassing this collection, I've learned other lessons from these reptiles. On the wall of my DC office is a poster that I have kept there for many years. Below the illustration of a turtle, the poster reads, "Behold the turtle. He makes progress only when he sticks his neck out." I think that Joe will agree with me that we stuck our necks out to begin this effort. In the early days, there were intense discussions about what kind of museum this should be. One school of thought was that the focus should be on slavery. Others felt it had to be much more. Thankfully, the latter thought prevailed. This museum tells a story of perseverance through the Middle Passage, resistance to enslavement, triumphs over Jim Crow, and significant contributions to the greatness of this country. During this past Memorial Day, I hosted several hundred visitors, including some members of Congress, and we gave them a sneak peek of this museum. They were so impressed by the breadth and depth of that experience. Several of them have already made plans to come back and bring their families. Joe, their reactions tell me that your vision has been accomplished. Your envision that this be an historic destination within one of America's most historic cities in America's most historic state. You from Virginia or Massachusetts might want to argue that point, but I think I can win on the merits. I'm currently writing my third book. Contrary to popular belief, I am not the first African American to serve in Congress from South Carolina. I am the 9th. That is why the working title of my new book is Before I Was First, There Were 8. Now, Joseph Rainey, a native of Georgetown, was the first. The late Thelma Fielding, who was the wife of the late Senator Herbert Fielding, was a descendant of Rainey. The 8th was from Sumter, George Washington Murray. And I have always been told that he was a relative of mine. Some say that that relationship came about as a result of marriage. Others have said that relationship came about although there was no marriage. I don't know. I was not there. However, Dr. Matthews, I believe your Center for Family History is going to help me solve that puzzle. So today, I offer congratulations to Mayor Riley. I am honored and grateful to have been on this journey with you. A journey that reminds me about another turtle lesson. If you see a turtle sitting on a fence post, you know it didn't get there alone. While you, my friend, are a man of many talents, you knew you couldn't get this done alone. Your collaborations with a plethora of public and private corporations and individuals, many of whom are here today, brought this monumental task to completion. And what a glorious result. I want to say, as I close, a lot of discussion went into what the name of this museum should be. We took weeks, maybe even months, trying to decide upon a name. And we decided upon International African American Museum. And we wanted the acronym to be I AM. So I want to say to all of you today, if you don't want to take the time to say the full title, it takes much less time to say I am than to recite the alphabets. I am. Thank you.